Oh hi, it's your old buddy Zoo, and today we're combining two of my favorite things, custom firmware and a solid as handheld. No, it's not another MooOS showcase, but don't worry, that one's coming. You can bet on that. No, today we're talking about Rocknix on the Retroid Pocket 5. Now Zoo, you're saying, why wouldn't you just get Emulation Station or Daijisho on there and call it a day? Well, maybe it's because I'm naturally curious. That's why my friends call me Whiskers. And maybe I want to see if I can get some performance boost between Android and Linux. Maybe I want to see if I can get some PlayStation 3 and Xbox games on here. Maybe it's because I know Rocknix is coming soon for the Odin 2 line of handhelds, and I want to get a head start with this handheld that is in no way from the same company as the Odins. I'm pretty sure they're the same company. Shh, don't tell no one. It's our secret. And you're probably asking, Zoo, how do you even get Rocknix on here? That's an Android handheld. Well, it's not that hard, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. Your first step is going to be to go to the Rocknix GitHub, which is linked in the description, and you download the image file for your device. This is for the Retroid Pocket 5, so we're going to pick that one, obviously. Next, you're going to want to extract the image using WinRAR or 7-zip or whatever you have, and you'll be left with an img file. From here, use your flasher of choice. I'm going to use Win32 Disk Imager. Then you select the image file and the drive letter for your SD card. Make sure you're flashing to your empty SD card. Do not wipe your hard drive on accident, although that would be hilarious. Once your image is flashed, you're going to want to put it into the SD slot on the RP5. Here's where it gets a hair convoluted. There's no easy swap option right now, so you're going to need to power up your RP5. Then you hold down the power button for a few seconds until the box with the power off and the reset options appear. Next, you're going to want to hold volume up and press the reset button. Don't let go of the volume button until the sideways text appears. Now when I first did this on my sideways boot menu, there were a lot of options, but you want to select Retroid Pocket 5. Just boot into Retroid Pocket 5. You hit your volume up to toggle between your options and power to confirm. And now the device is going to boot into Rocknix and start to partition the SD card for you. Once that's done, you've got Rocknix installed, and you have a couple of options for loading your ROMs. Your first option, and it's probably the easiest method for me at least, is to connect your Wi-Fi on the Retroid Pocket 5 and then connect to your device wirelessly from a computer on the same network. Just open up something like FileZilla on Windows, put in your IP address, your login should be root as the username and Rocknix as the password, and that's it. If you're not in a position where you can transfer stuff wirelessly, another option is to go into network settings on the RP5 and enable USB gadget. Set it to file transfer, and that's going to allow you to plug a USB-C cable into your device and then into your PC or Android device or whatever you have your ROMs on and transfer your files that way. I had some hiccups doing this, so another option is you could just reboot the device back in Android mode and connect it to your PC with your USB-C cord. Either way, you should see a folder named ROMs, and then from there, you kind of know what to do. So obviously, you're going to be able to play anything you could play on stock. This isn't like a 3566 situation where Android would be a perk due to better like N64 performance. You're going to be able to power your way through any of those sort of issues. And the neat thing is that the higher end systems like PS2 and GameCube will still run really, really well on here because they have solid Linux implementations. It's not like a stumbling, bumbling RetroArch core held together with duct tape. You are running a solid emulator. Another thing that's clutch about Rocknix, or really just any Linux custom firmware in general, is the united feel of the device. Even with the front end like Daijisho on Android, there's still that Android back end to deal with. Either you get random notifications, or the Android UI stalls, or all sorts of other Android quirks that might pop up. They're just behind the scenes and ready to jump out at you and cause trouble. Another great advantage of a Linux custom firmware, especially with this giant slab of glass, is you can navigate exclusively with your controls. You don't need to swipe down to change your brightness or turn on your Wi-Fi, and that means less smudges on your beautiful screen. Now for PlayStation 3 games, you're running RPCS3, which is a really powerful emulator, but it's not really suited to be configured using a handheld. I'm not going to go into crazy detail, but suffice to say, you're going to want to download your PS3 firmware and your ripped games, put them onto the device. You're probably going to need a mouse to go through the menu and install the firmware. But if you want crazy in-depth details, check out our buddy Rob, the Retro Tech Dad. Check out his full-length PS3 video for the RP5. I didn't want to just copy his entire video and be a plagiarist, so I'm just going to leave a link. Here's some Xbox games. Now, Xemu? How you say it? We're going to say Xemu. Xemu runs natively here on Linux, so you're going to get a lot better Xbox performance than you might be able to get with a bolted-together experience using, like, Termix to get XEMU running on Android. It's just easier, and that's kind of important if you had any thoughts of giving this away as a gift or just letting someone use it. Linux firmwares always seem a bit more new user-friendly than an Android system with a combination of RetroArch and standalone emulators, no matter how well curated it is.
I'm Kiera, a caravan guard.
Well met, fair Kiera.
Not terribly, no, but I'm grateful for your concern.
Okay. Well, Gary, it's time for What Did We Learn? We learned that while not perfect, the addition of Rocknix opens up some new doors in both PS3 and Xbox emulation, while at the same time streamlining the RP5 into a more coherent and uniform package. I personally like Android devices just because it's easier to download things directly through Chrome or to use Chrome for guides, and I could just kind of Alt-Tab back to the game. But there is a lot to be said for the simplicity and ease of use of an all-in-one Linux build. There are some hurdles and pitfalls along the way, chiefly that there's not an elegant way to swap the boots without doing the old-fashioned crap, my phone is bricked, three-fingered shutdown thing. But those are mostly encountered just when you boot up for the first time or when you restart. It's not like something you need to do every 5 minutes. Now this was sort of a superficial, quick introduction to Rocknix on the RP5. Do you want to see more games being tested? Do you want to see any other kind of features? Let me know. I want to do the next version on my Odin 2 Mini, so I'll probably do a new video when the new update of Rocknix drops. If you want to know when our next video drops, be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.